I tried to make you cry. It hasn't worked. So seems like you're doing really well. You're going to be a great founder.
I've never met anyone like it.
He could hack anybody's phone in a matter of minutes. Who is that guy? Who can do that?
Thomas is the most interesting man in the world.
He's one of my favorite people on the planet. Inventor.
Wicked smart.
The master of cutting corners.
If you had a dead body in your trunk, who would you call?
He would get arrested immediately in a lineup.
I stood in line to get his autograph.
You know, his mouth can barely keep up to his brain.
I don't actually know what Pablos does.
A hacker magician.
Man of the future. Future.
The hard part sounds like bag.
No, that's literally what I was just about to ask you. Like, okay, great. Now blow this apart and tell me what I'm not seeing around a corner or where like this is not going to work.
Yeah. So I think the first order things are that scare me, let's say.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at this from like a VC perspective, I want to really know that those users want to use this product. I've listened to your spiel. I haven't seen the product.
Yeah.
So and I'm probably not really the target market because I don't stress anyway, but so I'm probably I don't use anything else like, I'm not searching for this kind of.
But you may be interested in memory enhancement in 10 years from now.
That might be true. Yeah. And memory enhancement might be something that would win me over.
Right.
I think but whatever, I know people who claim to have problems and stuff. So like somebody's going to want this. So let's presume there's a customer who, needs this and wants it. So then I'd really want to be convinced that you figured out how to make a sticky product. Mm-hmm. Or at least one that's sticky enough that to have the success, metrics be achieved on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So closing that loop is just, and you may have all the data, you may have everything you need to do that now, and I just don't know it or I'm not seeing it. I'm not looking at a deck or anything. So to me, that would be a really important mission for the company to focus on. Like, we need to show that we can attract a user, get them to try it, get them to stick with it, improve them in some way, shape, or form, and get paid. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can sort of get that flywheel going, then you're on a track where the rest of it could sort of be figured out. And so without that, or if some part of that is broken, then you're going to just be, fighting against all the forces in the universe forever. Like, you need to get that flywheel working.
So let me ask you a question then. So if we think about and how I think you're looking at this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more of like a traditional SaaS model. Traditional
SaaS is a great model for you to emulate, right? I mean, there's a lot that might be different here, but the reason I say that is because traditional SaaS and, most of what's going on in this podcast is me making fun of SaaS holes because I think they're not doing important stuff. That is not what's going on here. You are doing important stuff. But what's good about SaaS is they have systematized a lot about startups, investing in startups, about, and all these milestones you've had beaten into your brain, MVP, product market fit, all that stuff. That's actually very applicable to you.
Yeah.
And there's no point reinventing any of that because that's been worked out. All the kinks have been worked out of all that stuff. So if you read, or watched YouTube videos on like how Y Combinator startups work, like all that is very applicable to you. And I think that with almost no exceptions, like that's the model you should have in your head of how this company should be built and should be run. And partly because, you essentially are building a SaaS product. Yeah, you're trying to affect the brain and there's neuroscience involved and all this stuff, but most investors won't care about that stuff because most investors, and they're important ones to win over because you need to probably raise some money to build this and grow this thing. So the investor view is going to want to see this flywheel working. And there's lots you can do to improve it, every bit of it, over time. But if the chain is broken, then there's a problem. And it's not really investable. So once you got the flywheel working, then you can go and say, here's how we're improving this part and this part and this part. This is how we're reducing our customer acquisition cost. This is how we're improving long-term value. This is how we're, working on churn and retention and all the other, buzzwordy bullshit they use. So all of those things matter to you. I'm making fun of them just because that's what I like to do. But they actually, that's a very great rubric for you. So then once you're in that mode, then you can make something here that's quite venture compatible. Once you've adapted to making it sort of palatable to investors, I think other things get easier. Your customers get easier because you can kind of back out from there. You could think of customers as like halfway between VCs and you. Like they're not totally finance driven. They're like partially finance driven, and they don't give a shit as much as you give a shit, but they kind of give a shit. So customers are kind of halfway in between. So you already have you can win people over who are like you. They're like, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to fix brains and save the world. This is going to be awesome. And so like that, those people are already in your camp. You don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
Finance people are probably the other end of the spectrum from where you are, meaning investors, because they're looking at it saying, I put in $1 and I get $10 out. Show me how that works. And so you need to be compatible with their vernacular on how they talk about that, think about it, look at that. So you communicate with them by using spreadsheets, right? You don't send decks to VCs, you send them spreadsheets. I'm like everything I'm saying is a little bit hyperbolic, but you get the idea.
But also free.
So if you can show your story in a spreadsheet, then you're going to be in a much better position to make it palatable to investors because they need to be able to understand how this flywheel works. So the little money goes in and a lot of money flies out. That's the game. And so if you're, saving lives or, keeping people from committing suicide or helping them keep from dropping out of college or all this wonderful stuff, that doesn't really matter unless everything else in the spreadsheet already works. Right? If the spreadsheet works, then you can sort of say, oh, by the way, you got kids in college, this could be really helpful for them. Oh, great. Then you can start looking for that human connection. But it is impossible to get there with any meaningful investors if you don't have the story about the money worked out. So that's kind of how I would think about it if I was in your seat right now. And then, but the rest of it is believable. As a app to build, you don't have that hard of an app to build. Again, you inherit everything that Y Combinator startups ever did and what the tech industry has ever done to make building iPhone apps easy. They've done all that for you. So you have a relatively easy software development project ahead of you, I think. The hardest part of it is not the machine learning stuff. It's going to be integrating with all this disparate hardware that monitors people.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, one of the biggest problems there is that most of those companies all have a fantasy of building their own platform, their own walled garden, and everybody else is going to come play with them. And they're all going to fail at that, and you will too, because you can't nobody wants to give up. They know the data is valuable. They don't want to give it up. So if they went through all the work of building so if you think of being Muse or Fitbit or Aura or any of those guys, part of the story they sold to their investors is we're going to get the data, and the data is the new oil. So they're going to end up, in this fighting for this position where they get the data and they keep it, and they're going to invite you into their app store, and you're going to pay them 30% every time you make a buck. That's their vision, and it's not going to work. Almost nobody ever succeeds at that. Apple controls the universe, and so Apple's going to win. And they can, on any day, between now and the heat death of the universe, they can just decide all your data belong to us. Boom, we're the platform. You all pay to play in our playground, because ultimately Apple has a platform. They own the user. They own the user interface. You know, they own the user experience. They're the only ones who can tie data together between all these apps. You know.
So, but with you and your hacker mind, how do you hack that inconvenient reality that we are up against?
That's an interesting point. I mean, I think the thing that I would be doing, I think the truth for a lot of these situations is that once the cat gets out of the bag with the data pretty soon. So what I mean by that is, it seems like, you know, if you are Muse or Emotive or somebody who has a lot of brain scanning data, that you have this highly proprietary gold mine. You've probably seen how the conversation around AI has come to a sort of a consensus recently that we're hitting the ceiling on adding data to an LLM, making it better, right? We're at 500 billion parameters or something. At some point, adding more data isn't helping. Like, it turns out that we loaded up the entire internet in training the LLM. A lot of what was on the internet was dumb shits, reposting other dumb shit stuff. So it didn't end up making the LLMs better to add more of that. And so there's a couple of things going on, and one of them is that the guys who are going to win in the kind of AI chat crap are going to be the ones who have proprietary data that's mostly real-time data. So you see, like, XAI is going to win because they have the Twitter feed, nobody else does.
Right.
And the Twitter feed is like a very unique, highly valuable source of real-time data, and that's hard to replicate. Maybe Facebook has something similar, in their way, but Twitter's feed is pretty extremely good. So that's an example. It's not the only one, but that's an example of how, like, in that case, real-time data mattered. You don't have a real-time data issue.
No.
You don't. So what's going to end up happening in your case is you're going to find that, okay, we need data from 1,000 EEGs or 10,000 or maybe 100,000, but at some point, more isn't better, right? And you're going to be the ones to get that, because you're going to be the one who can go to Aura or Neuralink or whoever, not Neuralink, but Aura or Muse or someone, and say, hey, we're going to give you 10,000 students, right? You keep all the data from all your customers. You're only just sharing data from 10,000 students with us, right? You only need, but we're going to take your devices. We're going to get schools to pay for them. We're going to put them on those students. We're going to give you the data back, and we're going to keep a copy for ourselves. Sound good? Love it, guys. Sign here. So now you're getting the data that you need. You're not getting all the data. You don't need all the data. You just need enough data to make your thing work, right? So that's probably how that kind of thing could go, some version of that. And
let me ask you a question then. So using the Twitter X example, real-time data. So if we think about at scale, individuals in different demographics providing their real-time data subjectively, can that translate in this example, providing their
there's let's think this through. So the reason real-time data from Twitter is useful is because it's showing, consumer sentiment, what's going to happen in the stock market, where the wildfire is starting and stopping, that kind of stuff. Who's going to win an election, or this kind of stuff gets valuable economically. So, and it's useless tomorrow. Today's data is what matters. What people thought yesterday doesn't fucking matter. I need to know today. And that's what, like, ChatGPT doesn't have, right? So, Google probably has it because they have so many search queries. Twitter has a version, Facebook has a version. Very few companies are in a position where they're going to have like a meaningful competitor to that data feed. So that's why that freshness matters there. And so there's a perpetual business model. For you, you just need enough data to train this model, maybe update it every couple of years because, kids are getting stressed out about new and different things, but, you don't need like fresh data constantly. And then on the flip, so that's on your data consumption side. On the flip side, are you going to make money selling data? Is kind of an open question. Are you going to end up with a valuable data source that other people want? And, you could imagine variations of this where, you have dialed in your app, you've made it very accessible, lots of people love to use it, and, and
it works. That's the most important thing.
Well, even if it didn't work on the therapeutic side, if you're just collecting data about how people are stressed, why are they stressed? I mean, you could imagine certain markets for that. Certainly research, but that's probably not a big market or not big enough to worry about. If you could sort of make the case that you have a high value customer base, so one of them might be, if you had a high value customer base that might be executives or, people who are, traders, that would be one where you could say like, traders are fucking stressed out right now. Like that's a signal somebody would pay for. Things like that. I don't know. Politicians working on foreign policy are stressed out right now. Everybody at the Pentagon is stressed out right now. Things like that. But I don't know. I'd have to think about it some more to try and find some conniving way of making a valuable data set out of what you got. I don't know, but maybe someone listening will have a better idea.
Yeah. Let's crowdsource this.
Yeah.
Crowdsource ideas.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the first one to want there to be a data marketplace that's efficient. I have worked on companies to do that. We have one company kind of working in that space now called data.world. They're doing amazing stuff, but a little bit orthogonal for making the marketplace. I think it's very important, but I don't think that probably should be a big part of your business model at this stage. At least I don't see a path that's clear. There could be good partnerships. If you get the revenue model working properly, you could imagine a partnership with an Aura ring where, look, they're doing a lot of marketing. They're getting a lot of users. They need a way to upsell the users. I bought my Aura ring. I would assume there's a subscription model. What is it, $10 a month? I don't know. I'm making this up. I honestly can't remember what their business model is, but presume everybody wants a recurring revenue model. So probably there's a subscription with Aura or Fitbit or whatever. So you could go to them and say, look, upsell your customers, charge them $20 a month, double charge them an extra $10 a month, whatever it is. And we'll add our product in there for them. So, if you want the Aura stress reliever or a focus thing or a memory booster, whatever it is, they're like digital supplements. I think you should trademark that term.
I was just like, that's fucking great.
Take that. Trademark application goes, and then we launch the podcast episode. Okay.
Perfect.
So, so that's kind of what, you could see co-marketing opportunities like that where they already have the customer base. They need to upsell them.
Yeah.
So you could be a good upsell for those things, for Apple Watch. I mean, it's really hard to sell things to or through Apple, but it's possible. That maybe that.
Yeah, and I mean, like what you're tapping into is really important in terms of our strategy, because a lot of people want to get a product to market really fast and show revenue to show value, but they skip over the efficacy because the efficacy takes time.
Yeah. Right.
But doing it and doing it well opens up a huge amount of opportunities. It's a different risk strategy.
I believe you. I think that, the way I would think about that, or maybe putting it back in the consumer SaaS terms, is what's going to work for you is I mean, efficacy is a really hard thing to sell to people initially.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that efficacy sells through testimonial and like word of mouth. Like once you have users saying this fucking worked for me, that's when you get, that's when you get the multiplier, right? That's when you can get network effect. You can, you get customers, saying like, oh shit, you're not using AUTONOMIC. Like, holy shit. When they're, you want every podcast guest on every other podcast to be saying like, oh my God, you got to try AUTONOMIC.
I had, just to interject, but I had that first moment happen like a couple of months ago, and somebody I knew sent me a screenshot saying, I was just on a call with this AI guy from New York, this other guy from Toronto. Like he was on a team call with a company, and this one person on the call was, just sharing a story about how they weren't really doing well and they were having a hard time focusing. And then the other guy said, oh, I just started using AUTONOMIC.
Yeah.
You should try it. And I was like, what? It's working.
Great.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, there you go. This is so good. People
can come to the platform and just use it. Like we're going after schools,
Yeah.
B2B, but yeah, you can absolutely just go
Great.
sign up, try it for 2 weeks and get going. And so we do have people dribbling in from all over. And of course, then you're like, well, how'd they find out? Where'd they come from? Like,
everybody find the most stressed out person you know and send them to the website. Is it autonomic.com?
getautonomic.com.
Autonomic.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get you some beta users here.
Yeah. Let's go.
Although I don't think anyone who listens to this podcast is all that stressed out.
But maybe.
I'm just kidding. I know stress is real. I'm just an asshole.
No, it's not just, maybe you just really want to learn about your brain. Like maybe you want, a neuroscience training.
Yeah, no, that seems cool.
Maybe you want to.
What a great way to learn about neuroscience.
Exactly.
Start with yourself, the things that you're experiencing, learn about them. I mean, this is actually really smart.
Learn the science of why behind it all.
Yeah.
Build the habits, away you go.
Okay, I'll try it.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
I'm the worst customer.
You can't cut it out now. Yeah, no, and then we could have like a product review.
Oh, yeah, that would be funny.
Oh, I'm sure. I might need a glass of wine or something.
Yeah, I might too.
Instead of my tea.
I've been stressed out before, but now that I tried this app, I know what it's all about. It made me aware of how stressed I am. I was thriving in denial until I tried your app.
If you'd like to be blissfully unaware, don't use AUTONOMIC.
Yeah, I think I might be in that camp. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, hopefully this goes well for you, and we can find you some nerds to help build it and some investors to help back it, and that'll be cool.
I mean, hey, wouldn't that be the dream?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is the dream. It's unfortunately a difficult dream to realize sometimes, but you have a lot of the bones of a good run here. So let's get.
Yeah, and I think also it's sort of like the reality. You get capital to excel, to move faster. If you don't get it, you just
For sure.
you just move slower. Yeah, accelerate. You just move slower. But if you're used to bootstrapping, you're gonna get it done.
Yeah.
You're gonna be scrappy. You're gonna figure out how to get it done. You're gonna take that penny, turn it into $1. That's how it works.
Yep.
And then, of course, you need the hard working piece. You need to want to work hard, wear a lot of hats, and basically eat shit for years.
Yeah, but it's like it's so much more rewarding. I think people don't.
Hell yeah, it is.
Humans are just evolved to work.
Yeah.
And a lot of the problems that your users probably have is they're just not working enough. That's what I think. I'm so politically incorrect about it, though. I mean, I just think just think about the history of humans on Earth. Free time is a pretty modern invention. We have these romantic fantasies of hunter-gatherers just waking up in the morning under the sunshine and go look for some dewy berries and pick them and eat them. That's not how it was, guys. Everybody was fucking dying all the time.
Yeah.
And so
suffering.
Yeah, suffering and dying all the time. Short, nasty, and brutish. So I think there's if you just sort of start there and then work your way towards 2025, it's how long have people actually had a significant amount of free time? And you're probably going to get an answer that's a century or less. You know, and so if you just look back, it's like, oh, so basically all of your ancestors had to work their asses off and you just have to watch Netflix. I mean, that's pretty high contrast. It's no wonder your brain can't handle it. It's like, why does the world need you if all you do is watch Netflix? I mean, that's not really...
Well, yeah, and I mean, think about like the overconsumption of information if you're just doing that alone. Like, yeah.
And then you watch, you know,
TikTok.
Watch TikToks about, you know,
about your
dumb
Netflix
shit
shows.
part of the world. Yeah, I don't know. It's not...
But I actually...
piece for success.
I want to like jump in on something you've said, which is really interesting. And it actually ties to a creative friend that we share.
Oh.
Franz.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so he gave me this exercise to do last year because we were talking about, he's like, listen, like, what's the voice of the coach? Because he's used the platform. Cool. And he was like, listen, I like it, but it's just like, it feels too scientific, sterile. Exactly. He's like, what's the voice? And so he kind of sent me away with this homework. And I'm right there with you where it's like, listen, we're not here to hold your hand and sing Kumbaya and be like, it's okay, you're having a hard time. No, you're missing a toolkit.
Yeah.
You're missing important information about your own brain. Learn it, apply it, and go kick ass.
Right.
Like that is what we've built.
Super cool.
But he was like that. He's like, when I talk to you, I get what you're trying to do. When I read the copy and how it communicates with you, too sterile. So he got me to go do this exercise, and he's like, what's the voice? And I said to him, I'm like, it's like Paul Atreides meets Jason Bourne meets like...
Oh, no. This is the wrong direction. I'm thinking... have you ever watched the TV show The Wire?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Pick one of the like union bosses in Baltimore who's just like gritty and fucking working his ass off for you know, and basically suffering because they don't make enough money. Like, get one of those guys. They have amazing...
You rule with an iron fist.
Yeah, and they're all no bullshit guys, you know?
Well, and that's it. Like, actually, that's a really important piece to this.
Yeah.
It's like, let's cut the crap. Here's the science of what you need to learn.
Yeah.
Go apply it. We'll help you train that behavior because guess what? It's going to work and you're going to feel better to go continue to keep doing cool shit. Like... You don't need to find all this time or have this like, you know, oh, I have to go back to the office thing or whatever your like suffering is.
Yeah.
You can do so much more.
Yeah.
But if you're going to skip over some real fundamentals of how the nervous system and the brain works in terms of behaviors you can have to support them and even just understanding of it, you're caught on your back foot.
Yeah. Is one of the recommendations that the AUTONOMIC app might make to me, get off your ass and go to work?
if we detect,
there's
you know, in the future that you're sitting too long. Research
on so the positive effects of telling people to just suck it up and go to work.
I mean, I think, you know, part of that kind of, I guess, translates, it's full circle of our conversation now, but kind of translates to how I was brought up. Mm-hmm. Like you need to work hard. You need to try. Like, nothing is going to be handed to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that right away when I thought, oh, this is great. I get to work in, you know, my parents' office. And, oh, wait, they treat me terribly.
Genius parents. I should have done that. Too late now. My kid thinks she wants to go to college. I'm a failure.
It's a hacker's worst nightmare.
Exactly.
She can use AUTONOMIC.
Yeah, I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. I wonder if it would help. She's got some friends who need it, though. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing for us that's valuable right now is feedback.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, where can we be better? Where can we iterate? Like, we've got an objective we're trying to reach. So use it, try to break it, give us the hard, direct truth.
Yeah, cool.
Try to make me cry.
Yeah,
like,
good.
Tell me your opinions.
Yeah, you know, you seem good for that. I tried to make you cry. It hasn't worked, so. Seems like you're doing really well. You're going to be a great founder.